Okay, quadratic formula. Whoa. This works all the time. So factoring works some of the time on quadratics. Quadratic formula works all the time. And here's the quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, that is a formula that you need to memorize. It's on a lot of different standardized tests. They normally give you the formula. However, that is a formula that I would like for you to memorize going into quizzes and tests during this unit. So, here's where it comes from. This is the standard form of a quadratic equation. Notice that it's always equal to 0. Okay, for the quadratic formula to work, we have to have this thing equal to 0, and then this is the equation. Now, something really cool happens here. Let's talk about just the piece inside the square root. So b squared minus 4ac. This is what's called the discriminant. All right, and it tells us a couple of different things. If this number is positive, think about it. If I take the square root of a positive number here, that means I'm going to end up with two real solutions. If I take the square root, or if I solve this piece and the piece underneath is negative, that means I'm taking the square root of a negative number, which makes this two imaginary solutions. If I plug this in and I get a 0, that means it's one real solution. Okay, so two imaginaries, it's going to cross the x-axis 2 times. Two imaginary, not going to cross the x-axis at all. 0 means one real, it's going to touch the x-axis. So when I'm given an equation, okay, first of all, what I want you to do is identify a, b, and c. So a is going to be 3, the number in front of x squared. B is going to be the number in front of x, which is a positive 5. C is your constant term, which is negative 1. Okay, so we're going to do b squared minus 4ac first. Always do that little piece first. It makes your life easier in the end. 5 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 1. So that's 25 plus 12, which gives me 37. Okay, so 37 is my discriminant. It's positive, so that means, hey, I'm going to end up with two real solutions. So now we come over here and we plug it into the quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Negative b, so we have negative 5 plus or minus square root. I already figured out b squared minus 4ac. It's right here. So I just put a 37 in there over 2 times a, which is 3. So negative 5 plus or minus square root 37 over 6. Now, you normally try to simplify this as far as we can. However, that's as far as that one goes. So there's nothing else we can do. That would be your solution. But let's say that we simplified this, and it came out to be something like that. Okay, so we simplified our square root. We ended up with a problem that looks like that. Now you need to look at the numbers on the outside, all 3 numbers. Ignore the number on the inside. Look at the 3 numbers on the outside. Each one of them are divisible by 2. So I'm going to divide each one of those pieces by 2. 1 plus or minus 3i, square roots of 5, over 12. The square root does not matter. Ignore it. But here's the catch. All 3 numbers have to be divisible by the same number. Okay? So if it's 2 out of 3, not good enough, doesn't work. A couple of things that you got to realize with quadratic formula. So normally I would put this in part B of the video, but I'm going to go ahead and stick it on this video. If we end up with something that looks like that, well, A is 3. B, there's not an x term, which makes B 0. And then C would be negative 11. So be careful on a problem like that. Also, if you have an equation, maybe something like that, you need to make sure it's set equal to 0 first. So we're going to subtract 12 and subtract the 2x. So 2x squared plus 3x minus 15 equals 0. Now I can actually go ahead and solve that. So we must have it set equal to 0, and then you need to be able to identify all the terms, A, B, and C. All right? Hopefully that helps you out with quadratic formula. Remember, do the b squared minus 4ac first. So if we're going to do steps, step 1 would be set it equal to 0. Step 2 would do the b squared minus 4ac. All right. Step 3 would be to do the quadratic formula. And step 4 would be to simplify. Okay? All right. Hopefully that helps you out. You do not need to watch part B now, so you'll see standard or quadratic form. It was quadratic form part A and part B. This will do the entire thing. Okay? Good luck.